Okay, next we're going to add edging to our planter project to create a planting bed. Now the edging tool can be found under the Draw menu and edging here. Okay, it's also found on the EasyScape toolbar located right here. Okay, let's first talk about the different line types that we can draw with. If we go up to our edit bar, you'll click on the first tool here, and this is going to be the different line types. We have a straight line, which is simply a line from point A to point B, or a polyline, which will go from point to point, and it'll have straight line segments in between the lines. We also can do a semicircle. We also can do a spline and a fitted curve. Let's go ahead and show you the differences between the polyline and then the different types of curves. So first I'm going to select the polyline tool here. I'll go down to my page and I want to come in and I'm going to click on 4 points here, like so, and I'll right click to drop that down. Alright, now I'll go ahead and select the edging tool again. This time I'll select the fitted curve and I'll click on the same 4 points. Just like that. Okay, now I'll go ahead and reselect the edging tool, and this time I'm going to select the spline line. I'll click on the same 4 points, like that. Okay, now the differences between the fitted line and the spline curve is the fitted curve, it actually hits all points that we clicked on, whereas the spline curve, what it does is it uses the first point and the last point and then it averages the curve, so you have a much smoother curve with the spline line. The fitted curve gives you a much broader curve. Okay, so what we're going to do here is you can choose either the fitted or the spline curve, and we're going to come around and draw in a bed using our edging tool. So select your edging tool. I'm going to use the spline curve. I can also select a material type here, as well as the width of the edging. Go ahead and leave that at 3/4 of an inch. Okay, I'm going to come over to the side of the foundation wall here, and then I'm going to come out, click there, and then you'll see that my line starts to curve. So I'll just come around to shape that piece of edging like so. When I get back over to the sidewalk, I'll right click and that will set that down. If I do another right click, that will release that tool from my cursor. Okay, now don't worry about getting your line absolutely perfect when you first drop it down there, because you can go in easily and modify it later. And the way that we modify this edging line, we double click on the edging, and that gets into what we call the Edit Vertice mode. Now with the Edit Vertice mode, you're going to see these vertice points that you can adjust. So if I click on that point, I can pull that out, or I can pull it in just like that. Okay, so I can reshape that after I've drawn it in there with no problem whatsoever. Okay, now if I add too many points, we can just simply select a point and hit the delete key on the keyboard, and it will remove that point. Okay, if I want to add additional points, I can simply mouse over the line that goes in between the vertice points, this little black line that you see here, and you'll see that my cursor changes to a little /. And what we can do is we can click on that line and then pull it out just a little bit, and you'll see that it adds a point. So it gives me a little more flexibility to adjust that curve. Now be careful when you draw in your edging, and don't put too many points, because when you start to put too many points, let me go ahead and add a couple more in there, you'll see that your line starts to become somewhat jagged. So don't overdo it and put too many points in there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and leave it just like that. Alright, now if I wanted to place a piece of edging around this, maybe I have a retaining wall here and I'm going to do a border on the bottom side of this. We can do that pretty easily by going over and selecting the edging tool. This time I'm going to select polyline. Okay, and I'm going to come up and I'll select here and go straight out and click there and then down and then click again, and then I'll right click to set that down. So that has created a piece of edging there. So if I want to put mulch in between this edging and the wall later on, we can do that. Okay, so that's how we place edging on our planner project.